pleasure to be with you this afternoon. I apologize again that I have to sit. I've been in and out of the hospital for some days, but because I already gave my voice to Femi, I said I needed to be here. And for me, HR is beyond the job, it's a calling. So there's no way I will not make this work. So I apologize for sitting where I should be standing. But I hope that for every reason and every expectation that we have that we're here today, that we'll be able to do justice to the conversation that we have today so that it will not be time wasted. And I'm very sure, because I know I'm not able, I'm hearing profiles and I say, maybe I should have just come my own paper and Bible and just sit down and learn. Because the HR career is changing, and it's changing every second, right? So what used to work 5 years ago is not working anymore. So for you to be able to do justice in that career, you have to change. You have to learn, like the second expectation we receive in the room, it says here to learn and unlearn. It's very key that you are, in fact, I think a lot of the time when I search for talent, I am not recruiting for the role, I'm recruiting for the future. And if Femi says I'm a bit hard, it's because, like I said, I don't want to leave the organization and when they want to fill my role, they go outside to fill it when you're here. So I'm not recruiting for today, I'm recruiting for the future. And as HR personnel, you must learn to put yourself in that place where you are constantly learning, because that's the only way. You know, we say learning is in our DNA. You must learn to learn. You must learn to know how to learn at every point in time. That's how best and how well you can do. So it's an honor to be in your presence this afternoon. When I got I called him Femo, when he first tweeted me and said I was going to be doing this, beyond the textbook, what it really takes to thrive in HR. I said, nah, because what it means is that we're not talking textbook, we're talking about lived experiences. I should I wash my dirty linen in public, you know. And but then again, I realized that it is very necessary, because when I started out in HR about 13 years ago, there are a lot of things I wish someone had told me. It would have made my work faster. It would have made my growth more spontaneous. I wouldn't have made some of the mistakes I made while I was building a career. So it's necessary that we have these conversations so that we know exactly where we're. Okay, so again, I say welcome to everyone who's here. Today we're going to be stripping back the theory of HR practice. We're going to leave what you write in your books and all of your professional and discuss real experiences, okay, that will help us better shape our ideas and turn us into better HR practitioners, because it's not just about the profession we're practicing, right? I don't know if we have, all of us here are all HR practitioners, or do we have people who are transitioning, you know? So it's cool. I transitioned too. I didn't start from HR, right? Although I always knew I was going to do HR. So it's one of the conversations we also have today, right? How to better position yourself. I'll also be sharing lessons that I have learned in the field. And I hope that I will leave you with tools that will help you pursue HR with a different sense. Like I said, and I don't say lightly when I say HR for me is a calling, because it's beyond tick boxes and policies and procedures. It's about impacting lives. And when you see yourself as one with a calling, you will work differently and you will excel in that career that you have chosen. So my name is Magdalene. Everybody calls me Auntie Maggie. I like to play with children. I have a God-ordained assignment for children. So you will hear me, or you will see me more in that space than in HR. But then again, I'm a result-driven senior executive. I have over a decade experience in HR. Core specialties for me is talent acquisition. I can spot the talent from the very first time you walk into my interview room. I can tell organization. So that's why I say for me it's more of a calling, so there's a sixth sense that works or that I work with when it comes to acquiring talents. I've worked virtually across all value chain of the HR profession, from when the employee comes into the organization on to their exit point. So I'm not like a specialist, I'm a generalist. I've touched on aspects of HR. I started my HR career as a crewing specialist in the maritime industry. I worked with Associated Gas and Oil Company, and I left the oil and gas and went into non-banking financial institution. I did a little there, also in the banking space. Then now I'm in the EPC, engineering, procurement, and construction, in the oil and gas industry. I've worked in various capacities of HR. I'm currently the HR country manager for Archer Present for Nigeria. So, dedicated HR expert. For me, I will tell you every now and then that what you should focus more on is culture. No matter how fantastic your organizational strategy will be, culture will feed on it. No matter how fantastic your organizational strategy will be, the culture of your people will determine the growth of your business. So you must take workplace culture very, very seriously. Workplace culture will help you boost your employee engagement. And also, because the world is changing, right now we have a global village, right? You must learn to leverage technology to enhance efficiency. And those are one of my strengths, okay, which I, in the process of working in the HR industry. So I don't know if I have people from the University of Benin here. I hold a bachelor's degree in political science and public admin, and then a master's degree in industrial relations management from the Great University of Lagos. We have our guys in the room too.
Yes.
Great, really nice. Okay, I'm a member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, a senior member of the Society for Human Resource Management, and several professional certificates from the Lagos Business School. And I'm also a certified auditor of the ISO 45001 2028. That's Organizational Health Management System. Okay. Why are we here? We're here to talk about those conversations that you won't find in the textbook. Why does this topic matter to me? Because when I started out in HR, I thought HR is about mastering labor law. Once you know all the labor laws and all the recruitment models and management system, you should succeed in HR, right? Let me shock you. Maybe I'm not shocking you because you're already experiencing it, right? Real success in HR is not in labor law. Is in navigating the complexity of the human mind. So long as you work with people, in fact, they will do things that is not even in the labor law. It's changing over and over again. This session will be about what I wish someone told me when I started earlier. Some of the things. I'm not saying don't know your labor law, please know it too. I mean, you walk through different, for me, I started my HR career in the maritime industry, so it's not just labor law I crammed my time labor law, so you need to have understanding of the industry where you work in, all of those things that play. All of these will help you in navigating, the complexities of human beings, and then you'll be able to succeed. We're going to analyze textbooks and the trenches. Okay, I call it trenches because it's real life scenarios. So we're going to look at what is obtainable in the textbook and what is actually obtainable in real life. I was already practicing, I think about 4 or 5 years into my HR journey before I did my master's in industrial relations. I had a role that had to do with union and all of that, so I needed to go and learn. But when I got to class, what they were saying in class is not what I was experiencing at the field. So one of the issues I had with some of my lecturers and others was like, oh, okay, it's not like this. So as in, I agree with Abraham Maslow. I agree with all of the theories. But the people I'm working with, they're not hearing theory. So we need to be able to understand what we have learned in the textbook and what really happens in the world of work. So textbooks are great. They give you structure. They give you, they make it easy for you to have at least a basic understanding. However, when it comes to the real world, HR is messy because you are dealing with people. Only you will be coach. Only you will be counselor. Only you will be strategist. Sometimes referee. Because, it's even easier when you are handling issues between employees at the same cadre. In fact, between two young employees. So what of the way you are managing this between two executives? Maybe if their rank is even higher than your own. But you're HR, so you do police, you do mommy, you do daddy, you wear different cap at every point in time. So we're going to look at that. Then I'll share with you the two kits that have worked for me, because we're not looking at what is happening in any textbook. So I would let you know, those tools that can make you indispensable in your organization. I'll teach you how I have learned to read the room, to resolve tension, to coach with empathy. It's not necessarily by the book. Sometimes you have to step out of the book to be able to resolve issues. Then finally, I will teach you or share with you the lessons that I have learned that no textbook taught me. Lessons by experience. I'm sure that by the time I've grown